You are now listening to Wolf Sports Network, live from the University of West Georgia in Carrollton, now in Odyssey Station.
We're back, baby. It's season 6 of Sports Out of Pocket, where the takes are cold and there is zero chill.
That's right, we're back with controversy. We're calling out the fakes, the frauds, and the failures.
Cash or Trash is back too. Your takes, your trades, we judge it all.
And we're bringing you stats, smack talk, and sleepers in our segment, Fantasy Football.
And then we take you down to the 2-minute warning, where we try to plead our case on horrible sports takes.
And we're melting the ice with the return of Fire Me Up.
And you already know we bring you the coldest interviews in sports radio.
This is the Philly Sports Guy.
This is former MLB All-Star Justin Masterson.
Hey, yo, what up? My name is Josh Martinez from Z100 New York.
What up, guys? It's Tyrell Adams, former UWG linebacker.
One vet, 3 rookies. Sports Out of Pocket Season 6.
Zero chill.
What is going on, everybody? I'm your host, Jackson Voles, and today, welcome to Sports Out of Pocket Season 6, Episode 7. And around me, I'm with the greatest cast I could potentially do the show with. Across from me, the Bills fan, Mr. J.T. Groves. You know, I'm pretty sure you have a lot of mixed reactions about, the Bills game that happened this past weekend. But how are you feeling about today and Sports Out of Pocket?
I mean, I'm feeling good knowing that Sports Out of Pocket's on tonight. I'm really excited. Just stay tuned for Fire Me Up because I'm going to be really, really fired up.
Now, on the other end of that game, we have the guy running the board, Drake May. Drake, how's your day going?
I'm doing great. I'm Drake May. I love Drake May.
Drake May is amazing.
He's
and
Drake May.
I'm so glad that you are on the show with us. And to the right of me,
He's Drake May.
also a Glazer of an NFL player, but this guy is on the Atlanta Falcons, Kyle Pitts lover, Mr. Grady Hamilton. Grady, how's your day going?
It's going great. I feel like we're a little bit stressed today in the studio, but, pressure makes diamonds, so I'm looking forward to this show. We're locked in. We're locked in.
We are locked in, and pressure does make diamonds. And speaking of pressure, LeBron had a lot of pressure on all of us with his second decision video. And with that, let's get started with the show.
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
We're in here talking about practice.
It's time for the latest sports controversies. Now, personally, I think MJ's the GOAT, so I don't want to start this with me. If y'all have not been paying attention to social media, LeBron James put out a video, and a lot of people saw that he was deliberating about retirement. He's in his 41-year-old season, 42-year-old season, heading into it with the Los Angeles Lakers. Obviously, he didn't play any of the NBA preseason games, and he's not going to, along with Luka Doncic. But I want to start with the biggest LeBron fan that I know at Wolf Sports Network, Mr. Grady Hamilton. What were your thoughts on this video, and were you worried for a little bit?
I saw that Instagram post, and I almost drove my car off the road immediately when I saw it. I was, sobbing in my room, mourning the loss of LeBron for multiple hours after that. He's not retiring, though, thank goodness. If you guys haven't seen it already, it's a Hennessy ad. Stupid ad. It really made me mad. Because, it's genuinely, this is a side tangent, but he's getting to that point in his career where I think he needs to, lock in, start taking this stuff seriously, not, using, legacy-changing announcements for, a Hennessy commercial.
Wait, so why does he have to lock in? I mean, he already has the scoring title. He already has 4 rings, an illustrious career, obviously an NBA Hall of Famer in the future. He's one of the best players, if not the best player in all of NBA history. Why does he need to lock in now more than ever?
I'm saying, what I really mean is when you have something like the air behind it, the decision in
Air
LeBron, whatever you're talking about, dude, I don't care. With the decision, and you're using something like that to troll for Hennessy money for LeBron, he already is set for life. He needs to be talking about just legacy stuff, really thinking about what he needs to do to lock down being the GOAT. I think there are a few things he can do to really solidify having the title of the GOAT here.
We were all walking around the station. I know Richard and John were pacing around being guys, at noon, he's announcing, his decision. And we were I'm not going to lie, my knees were weak, my arms were heavy. I vomited on my sweater. I had mom's spaghetti that night. I was so nervous. But on the surface, no, I'm going to stop there. But we were, really nervous, going on. I was I don't know how I'd feel if LeBron did retire and, just announce his retirement, by the end of the season. I would have been, super freaked out, but...
Now, Michael, I know you're not a big basketball fan, but obviously you grew up with LeBron dominating the NBA and the league. What were your thoughts on LeBron's video that he posted?
Well, first of all, this did not concern Drake May in any way, so I wasn't too heartbroken either way about what was going to go on. But I mean, I thought that when John told me the day before that he was going to make an announcement about that, I was like, okay, well, this might be the moment he actually does retire. If they're going to make that big of a deal about it. And then to see what it actually was, I was just kind of like, that makes sense, though, for LeBron. I feel like he's done stuff like this in the past. And, I mean, good marketing on their part, I guess, to get everybody's attention for it. But, I mean, I don't really have too much of a big opinion on it. I don't think LeBron will be playing for too much longer. I feel like he just keeps, like, dragging this out more and more. It's like every year it's like, is he going to retire? Is he not going to retire? Kind of like Clayton Kershaw, but on a much bigger scale, obviously, now. So I don't expect him to play too much longer, but I didn't really, that video didn't really affect me too much.
I mean, J.J. Redick even said it himself, the head coach of the Lakers. He's like, LeBron's not retiring. You guys are idiots. Who would you really think LeBron's going to retire at the age of 41? I mean, he's how long? Jordan didn't play as long as LeBron, obviously.
No, because he's a bum.
Yeah, he's a bum. Yeah, I know. But transferring over to the NFL side of controversy things, we saw a really big thing that had happened with a former Jets quarterback, Mark Sanchez, and I kind of want to touch on this situation a little bit. Mark Sanchez had some serious allegations against him, obviously an incident that led to him with legal troubles and stuff with delivery drivers and a physical incident that happened over there. Like, what are your genuine thoughts about that, Grady? As you know, you look like you want to say something about the incident.
Oh my gosh, I read on somewhere that he was doing wind sprints up and down the alley. So, like, if you guys haven't heard about what's happening, he was like apparently harassing some dude that was like some delivery driver because he wouldn't move his truck out of the alleyway for some reason. Like, I don't know, he was drunk at the time. But I read somewhere that he started doing wind sprints up and down the alleyway before he went and confronted this guy. So I don't know if it was like an intimidation tactic or what, but he was like yelling at this guy, harassing him, doing sprints up and down an alleyway, and then he went and got stabbed by this guy. Like,
it's a crazy situation. I didn't even know what to make of it. I saw it and I was like, out of all people, you decided to do that to Mark Sanchez. Yeah. I was really confused when I saw it because I was like, this dude's just going to commentate a game in Indianapolis. Like, he was on his way to Indianapolis, and this just happened. And so I'm wondering who they're going to replace Mark Sanchez with on Sunday. But at the same time, like, prayers up to Mark Sanchez. Yeah. No matter what he did, I mean, you don't want to see somebody get physically hurt like that.
Yeah, sorry, let me quantify. I don't want him to like die or anything because he got stabbed. It's just hilarious. He started sprinting up and down an alleyway before you arrest somebody.
So you gotta make light of the moment sometimes, you know.
Yeah. This is like one of the more bizarre like situations I've ever seen in the NFL. Honestly,
I speak real bizarre.
All right, the butt fumble is no longer his most embarrassing moment. That's something for Mark Sanchez, I guess, if he wants to take a positive out of this. It's just really like the whole thing is stupid. Like, first of all, why are we getting that physical over somebody parking in a parking spot? Like that there's no reason that should have escalated at that point. This is just a really weird, strange situation. Like JT, I'm very interested to see who they replace him with this weekend. But yeah, I hope he's okay. But this is just like one of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
It was an unfortunate incident, and unfortunately, he was under the influence when this situation occurred. But prayers up to Mark Sanchez. And the whole situation it's very bizarre because it's very out of character for Mark Sanchez to do something like that. So, but hopefully he recovers well in his process of recovery. But speaking of NFL quarterbacks, let's transfer over to fantasy football.
It's that time of the year again, and we're talking all things fantasy. Whether you're a 10-year vet or a first-year rookie, we've got you covered with some fantasy football.
Now, fantasy football. I feel like I was the underdog. I had an underdog mentality heading into last week. I had Bijan Robinson on bye. I had DK Metcalf on bye. I still had Mike Evans out. So who did I have to roll with in my fantasy lineup? I had to roll with the backup running back for the Arizona Cardinals, Mr. Michael Carter. Shout out Michael Carter. I know you're watching this stream. I know you're listening on WolfSportsNetwork.com. By the way, go listen on WolfSportsNetwork.com if you're not already. Michael Carter did wonders for me, putting up 18 points last week against a Joey Prater from the playbook. Tune in on Fridays at noon. But, also doing major wonders for me, T. Higgins. T. Higgins did amazing even in the whole quarterback debacle that's going on in Cincinnati. I came out with a win, 122-107, posting now a 3-2 record. So I'm liking the lights of my fantasy team, and I want to throw it to a guy who's not really liking the lights of his fantasy team, Mr. Grady Hamilton over here. How are you feeling about your fantasy team, and what do you think needs to change? I think it needs a new manager, but I want to ask you.
Can we redraft? So if we throw it back, this all started when somebody decided to do a draft on 6 o'clock on a Tuesday night and forgot that some people have real jobs they have to go to. I don't know who did that. But really, what I was saying, back to what I was actually saying. My team's not looking awful. I could have a worse team, I guess, in technically speaking. I just have no depth. Like, we're kind of like running low on the depth. If you look at my bench right now, I have Tank Bigsby, Jaden Blue, who's estimated to have 0 points. This Ravens running back who's estimated to have 8 points.
Is it Justice Hill?
No, if you start Tank Bigsby, you'll get 0.04.
Yeah, and then I have Malik Neighbors. I have 3 injured dudes. So, I'm kind of running on fumes right now. Like, if my team makes it to the end of the season with still having all players available to start, I'd be low-key kind of shocked. If anybody wants to come take advantage of me and give me players that I can actually use, then I would love to be able to, don't steal too many players from me. Sorry, that's what I was saying, pause. Don't take all my players, but take some of my players and give me other players that I could actually, start and, play with. I would appreciate that.
For sure. I don't want to talk about a trade on air, but we will be in trade talks pretty soon.
You can have my whole team.
But I kind of want to give my 2 starts for the week. Usually I do a start and a sit, but I have 2 guys that I feel like everybody needs to start in their fantasy league. The first guy is Travion Henderson. Now, Antonio Gibson, this was like a 3 running back committee in New England. We had Antonio Gibson, Ramondre Stevenson, and Travion Henderson. We know what Travion Henderson can do. We saw him in the preseason. His first NFL touch was a 109-yard kick return touchdown. So we've seen what he can do. We see how he is with the ball. And Ramondre Stevenson's been on a fumble. I don't even know what's going on. He's fumbling every time he gets the ball just about. And Antonio Gibson is now out for quite a while. And so this turned into a 2 running back committee now. And Travion Henderson is much more of a threat in the passing game. Going up against the Saints, who don't really have a great defense overall, I think Travion Henderson's a must start. I have him in our league. I'm having to start him because Amarion Hampton got hurt. But at the same time, Travion Henderson's I'm okay with it. I know he's going to start ramping up towards the middle of the season, towards the end of the season for New England. At the same time, going into my next player, I want to talk about Matthew Golden. Now, Matthew Golden is a player that was struggling this first 5 weeks of the season. Nobody really started him because we had so much hype for him, and he's just been disappointing so far. But that usually happens with rookies. We saw this last year with Brian Thomas Jr. Before his bye week, he was putting up maybe 12, 13 points a game, which Matthew Golden's doing just about that right now.
He's your under-the-radar guy, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Matthew Golden is my under-the-radar guy.
Okay.
Before the bye week last year, Brian Thomas Jr. was averaging about 12 points a game. When he came back, he was upwards of 17, 18 points a game. And he was a top 5 wide receiver the rest of the season after his bye week. We saw it again with Ladd McConkey. Ladd McConkey before his bye week last season was kind of decent, maybe you start him as a flex option. But when he came back off his bye week, dude was a top 10 receiver, a top 15 receiver. I think we're going to see the same kind of production out of Matthew Golden, especially going up against Cincinnati this weekend. Just coming off his bye last week, they're going up against the Bengals, who obviously don't have a great defense. And I just feel like now that the Bengals picked up Joe Flacco, which we might get into later, now that they have Joe Flacco, I feel like this is going to be a shootout. I feel like the Packers are going to air the ball out as much as they can. I feel like Matthew Golden's going to get a lot of those targets.
I was going to say, you talk about production and guys who are under the radar. I want to continue on the Michael Carter train just because he is now the RB1 in Arizona.
As far as we know.
With James Conner going down. Amari DiMercato, that whole situation happened with Jonathan Gannon and him hitting and spitting on Amari DiMercato.
Why are we spitting on dudes?
Yeah, that should have been brought up during controversy. But, Michael Carter's looking to be the solidified RB1 in Arizona. And, he put up 18 fantasy points, 18 attempts, 51 yards, and a touchdown versus Tennessee. Not giving Tennessee, a lot of good flowers because they don't really have the greatest run defense. They don't really have a solid run defense, in fact. But Michael Carter, he plays Indianapolis this week and then Green Bay. Then on the whole bye.
I'm astonished of what just happened in our league. It's like we don't care anymore, basically. We just witnessed a 13-player trade.
Wait.
I don't know what's happening to the league. We have Jordan Mason, George Kittle, Ricky Pearsall, Ashton Genty, Devon Achane, and Jaden Daniels all going to Richard for Romeo Dobbs, Hollywood Brown, Mac Jones, Nick Chubb, Aaron Rodgers, and Bill. We lost all. We lost what? I don't know.
What a blockbuster trade, and it's getting a lot of reaction from the control room, from a lot of all the
JT,
fans
can you
that
break
are
this
out
down
in the
for me?
control
I don't
room.
even know what I'm
Hold on.
looking at right now.
So we're just looking at obviously it went down between Brendan and Richard Reed. Brendan, former sports director, and Richard Reed, current sports director. Yeah, I don't really know what went down here. Obviously, Brendan is a 1-4 team. Richard is one of the top teams.
He is the top team
now.
right now.
And he's a solidified top team
He
in
still
the
won't
entire
give-
fantasy. You know, hey, he kept Kyle Pitts, Grady. He kept Kyle Pitts out of
now
all
he
this.
might be willing to
All
give it to
these
you.
trades and he won't give me Kyle Pitts.
Honestly, I think Richard won this because Mac Jones isn't going to be the starting QB in San Francisco for much longer. Obviously, Joe Mixon's coming back. Aaron Rodgers, 2 quarterbacks in a trade for that? What is going?
Obviously it's
bolstered.
a joke. Obviously, it's a joke trade. I mean, Brendan just changed his team name to Big Richard Fans.
There's no shot that this is going through. There's no shot that this is going through. Like, what is going on? Who's the league manager?
Let me just say, the backstory.
I was gonna say, wouldn't that be you?
You're the commissioner of this league, Jackson. You can stop this from ever happening. But the backstory is, I made a trade with Joey Prater, and it was to get Trey McBride, which I traded him away to Joey Prater earlier in the season. I made a trade to get Trey McBride back, and I gave him solid pieces. In my opinion, I think they were definitely pieces that he would start. Kareem Hunt, Wan'Dale Robinson. Joey is the worst team in the league when you look at it on paper. No doubt about it. And he's also, record-wise, he is the worst in the league.
Yeah.
But you look at it, I offered him Kareem Hunt, who would be a starter for him, Wan'Dale Robinson, a starter for him, TJ Hawkinson, who would have been the starter for him after that trade. And then I also gave him a top 10 tight end, A.J. Barner, who's a rookie, who's actually popping off so far this year. And apparently that was so much for them that they were like, what is this league turning into? They say, check the inbox. They accept whatever this mess is, and now we're just falling apart in the league.
So, Michael, before we go a little more in depth about this, I don't know what to call it, trade. You haven't explained your thoughts on your fantasy team, on how you thought you did this week. I want to ask you about your fantasy team.
Yeah, it was a bad week this week. We lost. We had 3 straight wins. Lost this week, but
You lost
I mean,
to Keyshawn too.
yeah. Well, I had Bucky Irving and Chuba Hubbard both hurt.
He also had Tyreek Hill and his top running back out.
Well, yeah, your receiver AJ Brown over here is the worst freaking receiver in NFL history. This dude is terrible.
Camera,
this
Michael.
guy is absolutely awful. Okay, he is selling unbelievable. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely insane. Drake May is beautiful. He's a great guy. He's doing his best. He's leading this team through this hard time. I do want to highlight you though for a second because, like I said, Bucky Irving is hurt again this week, and so I was looking at the running backs, and really in our league, there's no running backs you can really go pick up. Okay. I wanted Hassan Haskins. I don't think anybody would want Hassan Haskins. I just had to have him.
Mm-hmm.
So I put $5 down. You put $150 on Hassan Haskins.
So I want to make this clear. Obviously, Omarion Hampton's out for like the next 4 to 5, maybe 6 to 7 weeks. But Hassan Haskins is stepping up in that RB1 role for the Chargers outside of Vidal. So, I had to put it out there.
And drop 15% of your budget on him.
Hassan Haskins, hey, you don't know my motives when it comes to fantasy football and the waiver wire pickup and all the trading that's going along there. So, Michael Miller, I would love to trade with you. I would love to give you Hassan Haskins.
I do not want Hassan Haskins.
You don't want Hassan Haskins?
No, I just want him for 1 week.
He's going to say that now. But he wants Hassan, Michigan legend, Haskins. I know you want him.
If Hassan Haskins played like he did at Michigan, then yes, I would. But he hasn't, so no.
So hold on. I want to pull up your team. By the way, what is worse, me picking up $150 worth of Hassan Haskins or this trade that went down between Brendan Willoughby Ray and Richard Reed?
That's close. That's a close one. I don't know.
Everybody, comment in the chat or anything on Instagrams on your thoughts so far. And send in your thoughts on the shows on Instagram as well. Make sure to go follow over there as well. Grady, what
Dude,
are your
I'm
thoughts
so
on
mad
this?
about this, dude. This is so corny. Okay, Joey, look, if you listen to this, I apologize in advance. You're getting fried by trades every other week, dude. And it's kind of like getting ridiculous to a certain extent, but at the same time, like, it's a fantasy thing. Like, it's kind of corny to be getting upset because some dude can't manage his team properly. Like, it's just ridiculous. And then we go, like, putting trades out and like, well, if we let one of them stand, we have to let the other one stand too. No, we don't. One of them's a stupid joke trade, and the other one's Joey getting fleeced over his eyes. I mean, yes, that is not a good trade, but like, we're not his dad. Like, no, Joey, you can't take that trade. That's a bad trade. Bad Joey. Pull out the ruler and start smacking his wrist. Like, it's just ridiculous to be doing that. Uphold the real trade. Veto the corny ad trade between these two dudes trying to make a joke. Richard, this is another reason I'm coming for you, buddy. Give me Kyle Pitts.
I mean, I don't know how to piggyback off of that. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Joey. I love the guy. He's a great volunteer at the station. He shows up when he needs to. Mm-hmm. He's awesome. But at the same time, when I was making this,
is he on the hot seat?
When I was making this trade, I was looking at Joey's team and I was like, this guy is 0-5. He needs to make a change. Mm-hmm. And I said, the one position I need is tight end. And he has Trey McBride, who currently is, I think, tight end 3 or 4 right now. But I think he has possibility of a tight end 1 upside by the end of the season. TJ Hawkinson, AJ Barner, Wandale Robinson, Kareem
Ferguson.
Hunt, all 4 of these guys that I gave him, that he had to drop pieces on his bench that aren't going to, those are waiver players, no doubt in my mind. He did not need those players to be good. He wasn't going to win a game if he kept those players. So I'm giving him players that give him chances to win some games.
You talk about chances to win. Daniel Chaney.
What?
I want you to focus this camera on me right now. All y'all dissed me around this table about that Jake Ferguson, Brian Robinson Jr. trade.
Oh, my gosh. He's talking about it.
Jake Ferguson is the #1 tight end in fantasy right now. And I hate giving the Cowboys and their fans and their players flowers because I'm a huge Eagles fan. Jake Ferguson, you're doing big wonders for me. I'm glad you didn't take the Carson Beck route and cheat on one of the Cavender twins. So, Jake Ferguson, he's putting up monster numbers in Dallas. He's showing them why them boys out in there should not be taken for granted. Jake Ferguson, Brian Robinson Jr., anybody want either of those players around this table?
I've been trying to
take them.
The only reason
you've been giving me terrible trades.
The only reason I did not offer you a terrible trade for Jake Ferguson. You have him as a tight end 1, which yes, he's currently the tight end 1 in fantasy, but he's not going to be at the end of the season. You're valuing him like how you should be valuing Trey McBride, Brock Bowers, some of those top tight ends in the league. And it's insane to me. And so your prices are horrible. I tried to offer you for Bijan. I tried to offer you for Jake Ferguson. I tried to offer you for DK Metcalf. All these players that are on your team, you have them valued so high above literally anybody else just because they're on your team.
Hold on.
I can't make a trade for those players.
JT, I'm glad you said that. Breaking news. Joey Prater put in the group chat, I'll be dead serious. I looked at multiple fantasy calculators and saw that all of them said it wouldn't be a great idea to do it. But JT got me in the end because I listened to him and trusted him, and he took advantage of me. Why would you do such a thing to a poor Joey Prater? I don't want to read the rest of that.
Because he just completely said it wrong. I'll tell you exactly what it says. I'll be dead serious, ... I looked at multiple fantasy calculators and saw that all of them said it wouldn't be a good idea to do it, ... But JT got me in the end because I listened to him and trusted him, ... This is on my stupid blank for listening to people who just want to win and not listening to the statistics, ... It's fantasy football, and you're going to complain about somebody.
I would like to say I was in the room when this happened.
Was in the room.
I was there.
There's
okay.
an alibi. And I did not say too much
JT
about
was
this trade.
And when
JT
Joey
was
had concerns, JT said he understood and he reevaluated. This was not a fleecing.
Originally,
JT
the
said,
trade was
Joey, listen, I'm your best friend, and I would never lie to you. This trade can only benefit you, and it doesn't help me in any way. I promise, as our vows friends, this trade will just benefit me. Joey said, okay, JT, whatever you say with your handsome eyes, and then accepted the trade. What are we talking about? Joey, what are you doing?
This is not, guys.
Joey Prater, Prater's Raiders. I have a message for you. I'm gonna take what Grady's saying. I'm your best friend. I would never take advantage of you in a fantasy trade like this. So I think you should give me Devontae Smith. That's all I gotta say.
So this never meant to be a trade that destroyed the league. At the end of you gotta realize who you're going up against. I feel like when you look at fantasy football, when looking at Joey's team, he needed to make some moves. He didn't have a great team. And so I understood that, and I understood Joey might not know too much about these certain players, but he knows more about these players. And so I was like, how about I give him these players that he knows a little bit about that can benefit him, and at the same time, I'm getting a great player in return that benefits me. That's how a trade works.
Yeah, so now Joey Prater's team is kind of trash. Maybe he'll turn it around, but we're going to get into a quick ad break, show some love to the other shows. Speaking of trash, we're going to get into that after the ad break. So go to wolfsportsnetwork.com and listen in on there. And in 2 minutes, we will be right back with Cash or Trash.
This is the Philly Sports Guy, and you're listening to Sports Out of Pocket on Wolf Sports Network.
Listen up, because I got to tell you, Sports Pack is back and better than ever right here on Wolf Sports Network. Sports Pack is UWG's one-stop shop for all things sports. From hot takes to heated debates and even your best bets for the week, Sports Pack has you covered. So don't miss out on the fun. Catch us right here on Wolf Sports Network every Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m. See you there.
From the first whistle to the final buzzer, Wolf Sports Network brings you the action you crave. Sports Pack is your all-access pass to the Wolves athletics. From football, basketball, baseball, soccer, and volleyball, and more. If the pack plays, we cover it. Passion, pride, pack. Don't miss Sports Pack.
Every Monday and Thursday from 6 to 7 on Wolf Sports Network.
Sports Pack.
Sports Pack.
Sports Pack is back.
West Georgia's one-stop shop for all things sports. Whether it's UWG, NFL, NBA, or MLB, we've got you covered on all fronts right here on Sports Pack.
Mondays and Thursdays at 6, only on Wolf Sports Network.
Welcome aboard to Sports Out of Pocket Airlines, your nonstop flight to the highs and lows of the sports world. This is your Captain Jackson Vole speaking, and this is Flight Path, where we chart every climb and dive, teams taking off to championship skies, and players hitting unexpected turbulence. Buckle up, sports fans, and fasten those seatbelts, because when the whistle blows, we're cleared for takeoff. Listen to Sports Out of Pocket every Wednesday at 6, only on Wolf Sports Network.
Will our mouths write a check that we can't cash? Find out when we answer the question on everyone's mind. Cash or trash?
You know what, Grady? I think our mouths will write a check that we can't cash. And I want to throw it to me first for cash or trash.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, we speak upon fantasy football and league managers, and right now, Prater's Raiders is 0-5.
Yes.
For my cash or trash,
oh, my gosh.
is Joey Prater on the hot seat right now for fantasy football.
I love this already.
Heading into the first 5 games, heading into week 6 of the season.
Cash
is
or
Joey
trash?
Prater, all bias aside, all friendly bias
Yes.
aside, is Joey Prater on the hot seat?
I would say yes, mainly because of the fact you don't have to be a bad coach to be on the hot seat. You could still be a decent coach of a fantasy football team, but be on the hot seat because you're not performing up to your standards.
Okay, JT, I'm going to have to cut you off.
No,
right there,
no, no,
buddy.
no,
This
no,
is
no,
the
no,
worst
no.
5-week run I've ever seen in fantasy football history. You don't have to lie to him, so he'll give you another
His
trade,
team,
JT.
when he drafted, was not horrible. When he drafted his
You know
team,
what's crazy?
He didn't draft his team knowing how they were going to
Joe
perform.
Burrow and Josh Allen in the 2nd and 3rd round, and then he trades away Josh Allen.
Yeah, and got good pieces out of it.
Unfortunate situations happen where Joe Burrow and
players
Brock
go
Purdy
down. Players go down.
Yeah.
He trades away players that end up starting to do good, and he doesn't get great players that are
Traded
doing
away-
good in
He
return.
traded away one of his best running backs, and now his running backs are Tyler Algier, and who's the other one?
I don't even know.
The other
Alvin
one
Kamara.
is
Wait.
Rico Dowdle.
Rico Dowdle. And Alvin Kamara. He has Alvin Kamara, Rico Dowdle.
Alvin Kamara. Now Alvin Kamara is on
Rico
questionable
Dowdle had a
today.
great week. Alvin Kamara has been so consistent.
Yeah.
And then now he has Kareem Hunt, who's a great flex option for him now.
Michael Miller. I know Prater's Raiders might be looking for a new head coach. It's been circulating around the coaching carousel. I want to ask you, what are your thoughts on Mr. Prater potentially being on the hot seat for the Prater's Raiders?
You know, it is year one for Joey, though. We have to remember that. It is year one there. So, now to Grady's point, this is one of the worst 5-week stretches I've ever seen
my gosh.
of fantasy football. He's got time to fix it. I think what really derailed Joey's season, though, was the injuries, right? Like a couple weeks ago, was it with Aiden? It was with somebody. He just traded rosters with somebody a couple weeks ago, basically.
I'm sorry.
And that's what Mr. What are you going to say?
The highlight for Joey's team, according to Brandon Dyer in the group chat, at least Joey still has the Steelers defense.
This is an inside joke because before, with the trade that we were trying to make, I was trying to get Trey McBride, and I tried to get the Steelers defense because my defense was the Ravens that I was starting last week, and they put up negative points for me. They are probably the worst defense in the league right now. And so I needed a better defense, obviously. So I said, I'm going to try and get Trey McBride and the Steelers defense. And so that went into another thing, ended up getting this trade, and now the league's falling apart.
You know, as fun as it was dunking on Joey, isn't there a real sports show we have to be doing right now, guys? Like, back to our regularly scheduled programming.
So, I want to actually, in all seriousness, I want to stick on the topic with the NFL and like NFL quarterbacks for my real cash or trash. Obviously, we talked about it in the past couple weeks with the whole Bengals and Giants and Browns quarterback situations. The Cincinnati Bengals have acquired from the Cleveland Browns Mr. Joe Flacco. Do we think Joe Flacco can turn around the Cincinnati Bengals team? I believe he can. In cash or trash.
I still think that the Bengals are going to need a defense before they do anything coming even close to the playoffs. I do like Joe Flacco. I mentioned him in Cleveland. I thought he was going to do decent in Cleveland, but I didn't think he should have been the starter. And now he's in Cincinnati, where now he's even more prone to getting all of the bones in his body broken, because that is a horrible offensive line. That's why Joe Burrow went down in the first place. And now you have 40-something-year-old Joe Flacco back there. I don't think the Bengals have a chance of making the playoffs with Joe Flacco back there.
Michael?
Yeah, I completely agree with JT. I said this a couple weeks ago, I think, that I was talking about how with the Bengals, like, because you were talking about them trying to get Russell Wilson, and I didn't think they should do that because I feel like they need an elite quarterback to get into the playoffs. Like, I feel like they have to have a Joe Burrow or a Josh Allen or a Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes.
We said the same
even
thing
get them
about
there.
the Indianapolis Colts, and we talked about it week 1 and week 2 on Sports Out of Pocket. And even one of our 2-minute warnings, which we'll get into later in the show, was Daniel Jones will lead this Indianapolis Colts team to a playoff berth, and that's being what's seen. Why can't Joe Flacco do the same with Cincinnati?
Because he's Joe Flacco.
But Joe Flacco led an incumbent Cleveland Browns team to a playoff berth in 2023. Why can't he do with a better system, in my opinion?
Yeah, but we're watching the Bengals play with Joe Burrow last
in the
year,
season.
and they couldn't make the playoffs last year with Joe Burrow. The year before that, they barely made it with him.
back there. They would not make the playoffs. Like, I feel like that's kind of what we're getting at, Jackson. I don't think it matters who is back there. It's just there's so many other aspects other than quarterback.
Like the defense.
The saying is defense wins championships. You need a defense if you want to even come close to a Super Bowl even
defense.
even a playoff in that case. But at the same time, like we saw how they did with Joe Burrow, they were barely squeaking into the playoffs. Now we're seeing Joe Flacco, and you think they're even going to come close to the playoffs? Not a chance.
Or the year they won the AFC, they were 10-7. So like they barely snuck their way in even then. So like they just have so many other issues they have to fix. Like the offense is not the problem. They've got to work on this defense. Like just they have to fix it.
Yeah, I 100% agree. That's like definitely. Like what we were saying. I mean, no matter what quarterback you put back there, Bengals need to work on other aspects. But I'm glad that Joe Flacco is going to go get to wear orange and black in the Bengals.
It's very interesting considering he started a multitude of his career on the Baltimore Ravens, and now he's playing for an in-division rival such as the Cincinnati Bengals. It's very interesting to see. But y'all speak upon playoffs, and I want to throw out one final cash or trash, but let's divert to the MLB playoffs, which are going on right now. Obviously, you see the top teams like the Toronto Blue Jays are absolutely dominating the New York Yankees. Besides Game 3, the Dodgers are looking to sweep the Philadelphia Phillies. Brewers are looking to sweep the Cubs. I want to ask you, will one of those AL teams that's not the Blue Jays potentially dethrone the Los Angeles Dodgers in a potential World Series matchup?
Save me for the end.
That's not the Blue Jays.
That's not the Blue Jays.
I mean, Seattle can definitely do it. I mean, I feel like for me, this first round for Seattle is huge because like my only concern really with them was just the fact they had to wait a week because I think that week off is just such a big deal for teams and it really messes with baseball teams. So if they get through this first series, which they're probably about to against Detroit, I know they're losing right now or they did lose today, so they'll have to win a game 5. If they get past that, then they can absolutely do it because they have the best pitching staff and the rest in the postseason.
It's more likely that Jesus comes back than the Dodgers lose the World Series.
Ooh, okay. I mean, obviously, but at the same time, I think that Toronto doesn't even make it past this round. And I'm saying that I am a Yankees fan, but the Yankees are actually favored in this game tonight, so I'm so excited for some playoff baseball tonight. But seeing how the Yankees came back and won in Game 3, and we're starting Cam Schlittler this game, and he was a beast when we saw him in Game 2.
Yeah.
Or it was Game 1 or Game 2 against the Red Sox. Mm-hmm. And we saw how he performed, and dude had like 10 strikeouts in that 12 strikeouts in that game. And so I mean, our bullpen, our pitching has been great. Now when we got to playing Toronto, who's the best team in the AL, obviously we're going to struggle a little bit. But I think the Yankees have a good shot of winning tonight, and then we're going to Game 5, and I think that anything can happen in a Game 5.
I really like Cam Schlitter. And you obviously say we always talk about it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And the Yankees finished off the Red Sox in that wild card series with Cam Schlitter at the mound posting 12 strikeouts like Daniel Chaney in that kickball game we had at College Radio Day. But then with the New York Yankees, I feel like momentum is not high enough for this New York Yankees team. I think the Toronto Blue Jays, their momentum is super high right now. Obviously had a disappointing back end to that game in Game 3 when losing 9-6 to the Yankees. But I think the Toronto Blue Jays can prevail and take down the New York Yankees. But there's potentially only 2 games left in all the series within this divisional round. And speaking of the number 2, let's get into personally one of my favorite segments, 2-minute warning.
It's the end of the game, and you're losing. But you have one chance to defend an awful take. Do you have what it takes? We have reached the 2-minute warning.
Now, if y'all do not know how this 2-minute warning segment works, we each draw a terrible sports take sent in from fans. So shout out to all the fans and viewers who sent in these hot takes. And we draw it out of a hat, and we have 2 minutes to defend these terrible sports takes, and then we throw it to our TriCaster, Daniel Chaney, who is going to judge on the best take for the worst case. And right now, JT has a point, Grady has a point, Michael has a point, I don't have a point. I'm going to start off with Grady Hamilton.
Yes. Penn State will win it all from Philip Walton.
In 3,
oh, wow.
2, 1.
I mean, Penn State has had a few shortcomings, but it's obvious that they still have time to rally. There's plenty of time left. I believe that Penn State is really just a team that, I mean, you've seen it over and over again. Sometimes they struggle to win big games occasionally, but I don't think that says anything about the skill of their team. They just need a little bit of motivation from their coach. He has a goofy bald haircut, but that's okay. I mean, like, it's genuinely, I think it's really just a coaching thing. It's not it's not a talent thing. If their coaches can find any, like, sliver of a way to motivate them, like, if they can pull it out of anywhere, I think Penn State would definitely be able to beat some of the top teams in that division and clutch it out. They do still have an outside shot of the playoffs. They won't be able to make the conference championship game at this point. I feel like they're kind of out of that. But I think if they can make it a 12-seed team, they can go on the road, beat somebody, and I think that if they get the ball rolling, they can make a deep playoff run like we saw last year.
Grady? Phenomenal take. Now you choose next. Who goes? I'm going to throw it to myself again, and let's see if I draw it out of this hat or this mascot head.
I would hope so.
All right.
Let's see if you can. Oh, he
did
it.
If you put Breeze or Rodgers with Brady's defense, they win more rings. At Chris_posts. Shout out Christian Tyler, former member of Sports Out of Pocket. And I want to start off with this. Breeze, and Rodgers. We talk about quarterbacks doing more with less and less with more. I think that Breeze and Rodgers did more with less than what Tom Brady did in New England. Obviously, Tom Brady was drafted into a phenomenal system where the wide receivers were Randy Moss, Troy Brown, for examples, and like that. And he had a phenomenal defense behind him. Breeze, the only wide receiver he had during the prime of his career was Marquez Colston. Marquez Colston, and outside of maybe Michael Thomas, the year that Michael Thomas broke the single season catches record or yards record, something like that. And you have Rodgers here, who the only quarterback he had during the prime of his career was Devontae Adams. I mean, did he have a solidified wide receiver one of the top wide receivers in the NFL when he won the Super Bowl with the Green Bay Packers? No. He had Donald Driver. Donald Driver was not one of the top wide receivers in all the NFL during that 2010 season run. Tom Brady had good receivers. He had good people around him. He had one of the best defenses in all of the NFL, and he still couldn't beat the 2007 New York Giants. He would have more rings. And with that Buccaneers defense, he had guys like Levante David at the height of his career, Shaq Barrett, Quan Alexander, who was one of the lead tacklers that season. So when you put Breeze in the Patriots offense with that defense, or Aaron Rodgers as well, I think that Breeze and Rodgers would have won more rings than Tom Brady did in the opposite side of that situation. And
that made me so mad. That take makes me so mad.
And I want to throw it to Michael Miller.
That's like discrediting Tom Brady's speed run right there.
I don't think anything will ever match up to Bronny James being the GOAT, though. That was an all-time.
That was a good one. That one is actually, I take it back.
Texas Tech rebrand logo in college sports is the greatest decision ever from Brandon Dyer. All right. So I think everybody's seen this Texas Tech rebrand by now. If you haven't, go look it up, check it out. I feel like the logo didn't change drastically. It's definitely different. It looks very much like Temple's logo a little bit, just with like the two T's in there. I think it is a good decision. I think it's a good logo rebrand. Texas Tech has had this logo since like I can remember.
But you believe it's the greatest in college football?
Oh yes,
history.
it's the greatest logo in college football history. That's not even a question. Because it's just the same Texas Tech logo, but it just looks cleaner and like it's more. It has like, what I like about it is that you've seen a lot of teams kind of go back to like their throwback stuff in the past. Like you've seen. And the Eagles haven't changed to it, but they wear the Kelly Greens now again. They kind of went away from that for a little bit. The Falcons wear their throwback jerseys a lot more than they used to. They're bringing the red helmets back. Texas Tech just said we're gonna add a new element to our logo, but also bring back kind of an old school look to it. That's why I like it a lot. I think it pops off the helmet a little bit more. It pops off the field more. I think it's gonna be a really good decision for Texas Tech. So I like this logo rebrand a lot because it has the element of being more modern and moving along, but it also has this old school element to it.
All right, JT Groves, the final one. Here's the mascot head and pull out of it without looking.
Can you pull up the new logo? Because I cannot find it.
Let's see. The Bengals don't need a defense or Burrow to win the Super Bowl. At Tone_laughs. Shout out. All right. So we saw that the Bengals just picked up Joe Flacco in a trade. And, I mean, I was kind of dissing on Joe Flacco earlier, and so it kind of sucks that this is the take that I pull. But I feel like the Bengals don't really need to get that great defense. Obviously, they have Trey Hendrickson. Obviously, they have Trey Hendrickson on defense. But at the same time, their offense is stacked. Like, you have Chase Brown at running back. You have Jamar Chase, and you got T. Higgins on the other side. You have good weapons on that offense. And we saw the year that they went to the Super Bowl against the Rams, they still didn't have a defense that year at all. And so we saw that, but that was with Burrow at the time. I feel like Joe Flacco, what we saw when he was with the Browns and he led them to win a playoff game just a couple years ago. I mean, we could see that same thing happen with the Bengals this season. I think that if the Bengals turn it around, this isn't a great division. We got the Ravens that are kind of in a little bit of a downslide right now with all the injuries that have been happening. Lamar's been out for a few games. Their entire defense is hurt. And the Steelers are the Steelers. They're just going to probably finish 9-8 by the end of the season. I feel like, and the Browns are obviously no threat right now. But seeing the Bengals, I feel like with Joe Flacco now, which I think they maybe should have picked up somebody like Russell Wilson, but I think with Joe Flacco, I feel like he's going to throw the ball. He's going to feed Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. We know what they can do. We know what Chase Brown can do. He has the weapons on offense. I think that if they just outscore the other team every single game, they will. I mean, obviously, that's how you win a football game. Shout out. That's how you win a football game. You just have to score more than the other team. But if you are scoring every single drive, it's going to be hard for the other team to keep up with that.
Wow. Coming from the Buffalo Bills fan himself, he thinks the Cincinnati Bengals are going to come out the AFC and win the Super Bowl. That's insane. Now I want to throw it to our TriCaster, Daniel Cheney, who had the best case for the worst take. Remember, mine was the Breeze and Rodgers situation with the rings. Michael's was Texas Tech logo. Grady, what was yours?
The Penn State will win it all.
And his was Joe Flacco will lead them to a Super Bowl.
It was the Bengals will go all the way. They don't need a defense or Joe Burrow to make the Super Bowl.
And Daniel Cheney, who is the winner? Michael Miller.
It's two.
I feel that's robbery. That is highway robbery. I think I deserve to win.
I don't think you did.
He's biased. He is biased. I 100%.
Daniel has
Even
never
if he
been
is,
biased.
Honestly, Daniel Cheney, you've got me fired up. But before we get into that, let's go into a quick ad break, show some love to the other shows. Go to wolfsportsnetwork.com, and when we come back, we're going to get continuously fired up about our NFL teams. Stay tuned.
It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. You're listening to Sports Out of Pocket, live on Wolf Sports Network. The Wolves play here.
It ain't just a game. It's everything. This is where the best separate themselves from the rest. But to be the best, you gotta read the best. And the best is the playbook. Let's go. Yeah, go. Tune into the playbook, Fridays at noon on Wolf Sports Network. Man, this beat brings back memories. Anyways, let me tell you all about this show on Wolf Sports Network. Get with the playbook. Get with the playbook. Get with the playbook. It's the playbook. Hear us talk about all college basketball, football, and baseball. Fridays at noon. The playbook, only on Wolf Sports Network. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live at Playbook Training Camp. Now we throw it down to Joey, who's interviewing head coach Brandon Dyer.
Thanks, JT. I'm here with head coach Brandon Dyer. And Brandon, there have been many reports about starting punter Jackson Voss saying that he peaked in high school. Now, what are your thoughts on how he will perform this semester with the playbook?
Well, Joey, I have full confidence that Jackson Voss will be a breakout star for the playbook this season. And you'll find out Fridays at noon only on Wolf Sports Network.
Step right up, folks. It's season 2 of the playbook, where we're talking everything college basketball and baseball and...
Wait, Jackson. Dude, it's fall. And just like a playbook, I think we need to call an audible.
Ready! Omaha, hot!
We are talking strictly college football all semester on season 2 of the playbook, Fridays at noon, only on Wolf Sports Network. It's time to get heated with Fire Me Up.
Welcome back to Sports Out of Pocket and our Fire Me Up segment, my favorite segment of the entire show, where we get fired up about what's going on around the sports world. Now we are going to talk about the NFL, and I want to start with Mr. Michael Miller.
All right.
That's
so
okay.
This week.
Or Drake May, my bad.
Yes, I am Drake May. So this week, obviously, my Atlanta Falcons are playing JT's Bills on Monday night. I'm very scared. Yep. I'm very, very scared. Drake May, listen, Drake May's great. So the Bills losing last week really means absolutely nothing in terms of how good or bad they are, because Drake May is just unbeatable to begin with. But yeah, the Bills coming, in all seriousness, the Bills coming off a loss terrifies me as a Falcons fan. I felt pretty good about the spot because we had a bye week before, and it's on Monday night, so we had a lot of time to prepare. It's a home game. I think we're a good football team. We got a good defense. Offense is playing a lot better since Zach Robinson moved down on the field. But the Bills off a loss is just not where you want to be. So I have a very hard time believing we're going to have any way of winning this game Monday night.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this game Sunday night, I was very, very upset. I just think that the Bills just beat themselves in this one. All respect to the Patriots. Drake May had a great game. He made plays when he needed to. The defense stepped up when they needed to, causing 3 turnovers. And I mean, Josh Allen said in the press conference, you can't win a game with 3 turnovers. And also with how many penalties we had, that game was super sloppy or soppy. But at the same time, I just feel like it was just not a good game on either side of the ball. Patriots did what they needed to do to win. And, I mean, looking towards this game next week against the Falcons, it's going to be wearing throwback jerseys. Both teams are wearing throwback jerseys, so I'm excited to see that. I just don't think that we're going to lose 2 games in a row. I think we're coming back, and we're just not going to let that happen.
Grady?
Okay, so I have college football on my mind right now. I just want to bring this up real quick. Do y'all think that Miami is like a super valid team, or is FSU just kind of not as good as we thought they were when they beat Bama?
I think it's a little bit of both. Okay. Like, I think Miami is just like right now, like when you watch Miami play, they just look the most complete team, like the most complete team in the country. They're playing great offensively, defensively. They look very different than what we've seen from Miami in the past. They're they look like an SEC team right now on both sides of the ball, in my opinion. So I think Miami is legit. I think Miami right now is the best team in the country. Florida State, I think, is a good team, but I also think that Week 1 game against Alabama had more to do with Alabama shooting themselves in the foot over and over again than it was Florida State actually going out there and dominating them.
I think that Miami is the best team in the league, or in the entire nation right now. I was kind of stuck on the NFL topic still. But Miami is the best team in the nation, no doubt about it. Carson Beck's playing at a Heisman level. And that offense is just unstoppable, and the defense is just as good. So I don't think that you're going to stop them. Even Ohio State has not been performing at their standards for being a defending national champ. I think that Miami might take those reins this year.
I'm excited to see what Miami does with the rest of the schedule. Obviously, it's pretty much ACC in conference play. I mean, they have Syracuse, NC State, Virginia Tech. It seems like a cakewalk, and it will be a cakewalk.
Syracuse is no cakewalk.
It will be a cakewalk for Carson Beck and that Miami offense along with the defense. I think the Miami Hurricanes are going to blow through the state of Florida, blow through the entire conference in the ACC. I think they are legit. And as Michael said, he talks about like the whole different level of competition when it comes to SEC, ACC. Miami is looking like they can compete with the top teams in the SEC, and I think they truly can. So I think it's a legit thing. Now I want to kind of divert back to the NFL really quick with my Philadelphia Eagles and why I'm fired up about that, because the Eagles, they're 4-1. Really strong start, but the record doesn't speak for itself. They aren't looking as dominant as they were last season. Their offensive inconsistencies looking a little soppy. Yeah, soppy. Not targeting really A.J. Brown. I mean, and if they do target A.J. Brown, he's not really open. He's getting double covered on every single play. Broncos came back from a 14-point deficit. Our defense really could not hold it together. I'm not really worried about the New York Giants heading into this week, and then we play the Vikings again, and then the Giants again, and then we play the Green Bay Packers a little bit down the road. That's one team I'm kind of worried about, because the Green Bay Packers have been a consistent top team in the NFC. Jordan Love with his connections, and you talk about the connections with Matthew Golden. Matthew Golden's getting yards after obviously the bye week, and after that game with the Cowboys game, he really showed true promise. But this Eagles needs to get their offense under wraps, more consistent play, and defensive side as well. We need to stop getting fined for everything. I'm tired of getting fined for everything. Carter has like 2 or 3 fines this season. Cooper DeJean has a couple fines. So we need to get clubhouse mentality just under wraps in general. Now, I want to quickly get fired up before we wrap up this show about the West Georgia Wolves going into this Saturday facing Abilene Christian.
I can't get hyped up until you howl for me.
Consistent conference
Howl
play.
for
I'm
us
not
and I'll
going
get hyped
to.
up.
We can't get
I am
hyped
not
up.
going
There's
to
no
get
Get me fired up, Jackson.
I
Get me
am
fired
not
up.
going to. I'm not going to hell.
We want to get fired up.
I'm not going to do that. Right now, we're the number 2 team in the UAC, coming off a loss against Austin Peay. And obviously Davin Widener got hurt mid-game. There's questionable. There's questions that he might not even start on Saturday. So I want to ask y'all, what are y'all looking forward to heading into this weekend with the West Georgia Wolves?
Yeah, this game kind of worries me, seeing that we're two ranked teams going into this, 2 top 25 teams, and seeing that Davin Widener we might not have this week. And we saw a little bit of Connor Fitzgerald at the end of last week. Colton Fitzgerald, my bad. We saw a little bit of him last week. He did not do too hot. We saw like a 4th down attempt to try and maybe stay in the game, and it was just a completely underthrown ball. I could have probably thrown better than that. But at the same time, like, I feel like if we manage to get Devin Widener back this week, it'll be a great matchup. But I feel like if we do have Colton back there, I would be a little bit less kind of like I'd be a little bit less confident in our team.
Yeah, well, according to my inside sources, Davin Widener was in a red shirt, and Colton Fitzgerald was getting the Team 1 reps, and Isaiah Nathaniel was getting the Team 2 reps at a recent practice. So Grady, Michael, what are you looking forward to heading into this West Georgia Wolves home weekend?
I believe in the Wolves. My mom's coming up here to watch this game, so Wolves, do it for my mom, please. Shout out Katie Johnston.
Shout out.
Yeah, win this game for her, please. She's coming up here to watch. I don't want to get embarrassed. I really do think we can win without him. We have a good running game. Mm-hmm. We can scheme around it. Like, it's possible to scheme around without having like a really solid QB1. Like JG said, it was not the best looks for our backup, but like I said, there's things you can do to really get around that, still try to win a game, be a scrappy team, fight back. That's really what you got to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, without Davin, it definitely concerns me trying to score points in this game. Last week, really, the thing that hurt us last week, though, is like our defense has been great all season, and they let up 40 points last week. So that was kind of out of the blue for them. But like we've seen, like with any great defense in college football history, really, like all the ones that Nick Saban had at Alabama, Kirby's that he's had at Georgia, there's always been a game in there where they've given up a whole bunch of points for whatever reason. So defense just needs to bounce back this week. We need people to pack the stadium, get in there, be loud. You can affect the game.
We're going to break the attendance record this weekend.
That's
need
the
to do
word
that.
on the street.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because if we have people in there, that can really affect the game. That can change how this game goes. So people need to pack it out. I think we can get it done. Like Grady said, you can scheme around not having your starting quarterback being in there, but we have to play a complete game. Don't turn the ball over, and people pack the stands.
Yeah, Grady hit it right on the nose. We can scheme around. We have a great run game with Latrell Morrell and TJ Lester. If y'all have not checked out on Wolf Sports Network, go to our Out of Pocket on the Road reel. We had a golf cart interview with TJ Lester, so go check that out. But I'm very confident in this West Georgia Wolves team. Defense, run game. A little skeptical around the passing game, but I feel like we can turn that around as well. I mean, we have a phenomenal offensive coordinator and pass game coordinator here at West Georgia. So I believe that we are going to go in there and mollywop Abilene Christian. I think it's going to be let's do a smooth 30-13.
I think that West Georgia does get it done this week. I think that coming off a loss, we're going to come back ready to play. And also, it's a home game. Our first one back, we had 2 weeks straight of away games, and now we are back in the City of Dreams, Carrollton. I think that we have this game. I think even if Davin doesn't play, I'm sure we can, like they were saying, scheme around it. We have a great run offense. Our defense had a bad game last week, but I feel like they're going to bounce back. I feel like this is just going to be a great game overall. I just want to see a great game, and, of course, I want to see West Georgia win.
Quick predictions before we have to end off the show in about a minute.
I feel like mollywop is a bit of a big word. I think it's going to be a scrappy game. We're going to have to come out there. We're going to have to scrap with them if we're trying to win. Give me West Georgia Wolves, like 21-17.
I was just about to say 21-17, but now I got to say 28-24 West Georgia.
I was going to say 2017, so I'll go with that. I think it's going to be a close game, very defensive until the end of the game.
I think it's going to be a close game as well. I mean, we normally...
You said 31-13.
Yeah.
But we're going to backtrack on that.
I'm going to backtrack on that. I'm going to say 34-23 because we stick with the 34...
2 points closer.
2 points, a couple points closer. But that is all the time we have for Sports Out of Pocket today. And for Grady, JT, Michael, we will see y'all next week.